So, thank you, Colin, for joining us for Vintage Legends. Calling you from Wytch Hazel. Please,
Yeah.
please do get the ball rolling and tell us more about your band.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. I'm Colin. I'm in a band called Wytch Hazel, and Wytch Hazel's been going for we probably started in about 2011, 2012. So, it's like we're getting on for 13 odd years
Yeah.
of the band. And we started off as a kind of we want to kind of be um we always want to be sort of a classic sounding band. So I think we were early on, we were inspired by just a lot of like classic hard rock and kind of classic heavy metal music. And then a little bit of underground stuff. So things that were kind of roughly within the new wave of British heavy metal, and
Yeah.
then obviously other European and worldwide bands in that kind of similar underground genre. But yeah, we've always been kind of heavily inspired by the likes of Thin Lizzy and Wishbone Ash, and kind of a little bit of Jethro Tull, but not really for the prog element, just for the kind of the songwriting element and the
Yeah.
folk element. We all love Iron Maiden. There are lots of various lineup changes, we've got to the stage where we've built the band up. Things are going really well for us at the moment, and we got signed in, I think, 2000 and I want to say 2013, something like that.
That's cool.
2014 maybe is when we recorded our first album, which came out in 2016. And we've released 4 studio albums with our record label, Bad Omen Records. We're busy working on a new one, album 5. We're pretty prolific in that time because we do singles and things like that in between albums. And we've got to the stage where we started playing in like pubs and things like that, and now we just played in Texas for the USA for the first time. So
That's awesome.
we've come a long way. It feels like, it's just really exciting. It feels more exciting than ever, really, at the moment.
That's
That's
really
us. That's
awesome. In terms of the gig in Texas, how did that land? Have you got any other kind of plans for trips overseas?
So it was just a big, for us, a big festival. They just really wanted to book us. And again, it's like an underground heavy metal festival,
Yeah.
but I think when everyone knows everyone, you've got all the right people coming to the same place.
Yeah.
It's like a convention, like an underground heavy metal convention. And there was like Queensryche were playing and Sodom were playing and some of
That's
these
awesome.
kind of, so like some bigger bands as well. And but yeah, they really wanted us to play. They just gave us an offer we couldn't refuse, really. And that
Amazing.
was and we've just literally flown in for that show. So it's a pretty brutal schedule. Um,
That's
and
understandable.
they sorted out all the visas. They were amazing to us, really. Um, the thing is, like, we couldn't have turned it into a tour anyway because of our work. I mean, half the band are school teachers, so that's enforced holidays, so
Yeah.
we can't like book school term time off. Um, so it was great. Probably one of our best shows, actually, I think, and
Yeah.
the crowd was fantastic. They're very enthusiastic over there.
Do you know something I think as well? Like, I think realistically, if you can work around those sorts of schedules, especially since you get so many like opportunities for things coming up, like different festivals and stuff over that sort of season, and so often schools are off, over that kind of
Yeah,
time of year. It's pretty cool because there are so many different kinds of gigs that you can kind of do, all year round, Saturday nights and stuff. But it's pretty cool if you can be able to slot things into that kind of schedule as well for the festival
yeah,
season. But that's amazing, and it's nice to hear as well because you hear of people with different bands that have issues and stuff and trying to get out of where they are, and it's nice to hear somebody's obviously getting taken care of as well. That's pretty cool.
yeah. That said, the process for getting a US visa is quite I don't even know what to say. It's so unbelievable, really, the process. Because we're just in one show, but
Yeah,
the interrogation and the oh gosh, yeah.
and I'm going to agree with you there because I went to the US once, and as you imagine, you get landed there in Boston, and we're like, right, cool. Follow us. It's like, okay, cool. Interrogated. They kept the spotlight for later, so it wasn't too bad, but
Yeah.
it's nuts. I see behind you one of a few of your interesting collection. Tell us more. What have you got?
Yeah. So, shall I just give you the overview, the
Feel
vintage
free.
guitar? So, in terms of, I mean, I'll just sort of do it as part of the band because we basically just share all our guitars. I mean, we've got the two live guitars that me and Alex use. They're at our guitar techs at the moment, just getting a setup. And me and Alex have they're white kind of Les Paul types, but mine's a lemon drop which has been refinished
Ah,
in
cool. So that's cool.
kind of what's it called, that color? It's like a strap color I got as whatever the Olympic
Not quite.
white. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's not quite really white, it's off.
yeah.
And Alex uses what it is it was a damaged in transit vintage V103. So I had the three pickups and it's
Yeah.
had the middle one removed. And it's all like knackered around the bridge because it got I think it's like been smashed against like the back of a van. So he uses that. It's a great guitar. But it's just like new electronics and stuff. And to be honest, like those two guitars are quite heavily modded. And then I have another lemon drop, which I'll get now.
Well, that's cool.
Is these kind of the studio guitar, so it has different pickups. So it's
Ah,
kept.
nice.
It's just like I mean, all of them have been modded to an extent. Um, and then I have got I don't know what this model's called. Do you know the? I'll grab it.
Well,
So this
it's gorgeous.
so this is I want to say the V 120, 130.
That sounds about right. I'm terrible with numbers.
Like there's a V120 and a V130. One of them's a single cutaway, one was a double cutaway. So I'm
Yeah.
sure someone
You got the red option TV yellow kind of
yeah,
colour as well.
so it's like it's kind of a very yellowy white.
Yeah.
Um,
I really like that. They do the VS6 for those as well. That kind of cream kind of colour. I like that, man.
yeah.
It looks gorgeous.
So this is probably. I mean, they're just all quite modded. It's maybe one of the least modded ones. I mean, it's got a new pickup in it, and it's got a different bridge on it. But the tuners have stayed the same. The
Yeah.
machine heads are the same, and I always upgrade the electronics in all of them.
Yeah.
Just because I'm just very aggressive with the controls. I need something that's not gonna fail on me. Obviously Andy uses I want to say the V6 bass, the precision bass. I think it's a V6
V4, yeah.
or V4. Yeah,
Absolutely.
right. Um,
If you get
and
his,
I'll grab the Flying V as well.
yeah, I was going to say that caught my. If you've got pictures, by the way, we'll just make them magically appear here on the screen in any case, and
Yeah,
people
yeah.
can see.
So,
Yeah,
this not as modded.
nice. We agree on all of our
I
things
use,
here.
I use a string butler on pretty much any guitar that'll take it.
That's cool.
There's a lot of over the years. I've just always messed around with guitars, and vintage is just the best instrument for this sort of thing. When you've messed around with guitars for so long, because you're not having it. That I just really begrudge like spending like £2,000 on a Gibson only to replace everything on it. Like
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's not acceptable at all.
yeah,
I think I spent like £280 on it might have been this lemon drop or the other lemon drop. You used to think like
I
just
know.
goes into and it goes into like an album budget. And it's like
Yeah,
that you can just recoup that really quickly. You've got an instrument for the album and they're heard all over our albums, these guitars. And they
yeah.
sound great. So yeah, I think that's the lineup.
That's the thing as well. But the thing as well is like you've kind of hit the nail on the head there. Like you can go and spend an absolute fortune on something and then go right. I don't like that or that or that. That's not to my taste, so you change it, and then you spend a bit extra as well. But if you can get the bones of the guitar to, the kind of right quality that you need, and especially if you've saved yourself that amount of money, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Graham Oliver signature though you've got, I am such a sucker for a white V-shaped guitar, and
yeah.
yeah, they look amazing.
Yeah,
We meant,
I've got it in Nashville tuning at the moment
oh
because
cool,
of just the studio stuff. So it's got the high strung. Yeah, it just ended up being the guitar that wasn't because I'm just Les Pauls just record so well and they sit so well in the mix. So I've kind of all three that I'm tracking with. Is that three? Three guitars? Maybe no, or the two main ones. My live guitar and this Lemon Drop are the two Les Pauls that I'm using all the time when I'm tracking guitars. I say in the studio, this Lemon Drop's only been into one proper studio, but like home studio. It's what we're doing. We're doing everything ourselves these days, really.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, but yeah, well, the Flying V's in high strung at the moment. Seems a bit strange for a Flying V, but
Listen, variety's a special life, man. Um, I know that you mentioned as well that you have got a little something else in the works for the Pro Shop. Is that something you can tell us about?
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, so since getting the endorsement with Vintage, they are working with me to do what I'm calling the Gold Light. So it's going to be like a weight relieved Les Paul.
Right, okay.
Um, it's something that again it's going to be. It's like I think every album we want to kind of get like a different sound, but this is kind of killing two birds with one stone. So like this one is. Um, so it's going to be like a V100. Well, no, I think that the spec's going to be like a lemon drop because that seems to be what I'm gravitating towards. I mean, I've
Okay.
played so many of these V100s and lemon drop types, and I think that they're kind of quite similar. Like I think maybe just like the maple cap is perhaps a bit thicker and there's a maple veneer on top of it, and that's kind of about it compared to the
Yeah.
lemon drop compared to the V100.
The thing
So
as
it's
well
that's
is like the difference in the terms of appreciable sound as well. It's like there ain't a lot to it. Like
yeah, yeah. So it's like a weight relieved lemon drop, but
yeah,
a gold top
that sounds
finish,
awesome.
nitro finish. And then just basically all the so it's going to be like a lighter guitar because like to be honest like I when I'm singing and stuff I just find it so much easier when I'm singing to have like a lighter instrument. These like, really heavy Les Pauls are like what am I doing to myself?
No, I
It's
know.
gonna be like you've seen the postman with the scan of the postman's thigh, the shoulder. It's like that's gonna be me with the Les Paul. So yeah, the weight relief it's going to be the spec of my live guitar. So it's kind of quite there's like a big rundown of mods. So I suppose if I was to go top to bottom, you've got the string butler, um, Grover, 18:1 ratio, machine heads, bone nut, and then binding around the whole thing. Um, I think I can't remember whether I said ebony or like what mahogany, just kind of the same spec
Yeah.
fretboard.
Okay.
I don't know whether they're doing ebony anymore. Um,
I
but
think we're back to rosewood. I think there was a
yeah,
short time they were
Luan or
using lignin
something like
rosa,
that.
which just did the trick for me.
Yeah, and so and then in terms of pickups, the neck pickup, I really like the just the standard Wilkinson PAF type neck pickup, and then a bare knuckle black dog humbucker in the bridge,
Bit
which
more
is
snarl.
yeah, that's what we use. It's just kind of got that kind of low mids and very honky sound to it.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, so use that in the bridge and on the live guitars. Both of our live guitars have the same humbucker. And then just like high quality CTS. I think I use like TBT pots if we're going to get down to that minute, like just kind of, I just like, it's like, oh yeah, you got CTS pots, but then, sometimes the variance is off. Like I like to have things that are just, if it says 500K, I don't want the tolerance to be like 20%. Because
Yeah,
you're like,
makes sense.
why is this guitar sound dark? You're like, so like, high quality, the true vintage taper ones. Not that I think that really makes much a difference in terms of the roll off. I don't think I noticed, but I just know the tolerance is like less than 10%. So if I'm ordering a 500K pot, it's going to be, for when I'm recording and stuff like these, there's certain things of like this sort of aspect of the guitar doesn't make a difference, so I don't
Yeah,
care. But like your pot value, like I've noticed, going from 300K to 500K, and certainly 250K to 500K, it's like brightness and darkness, and you're like, I just want I know that pot works with that humbucker, and so I like to kind of, when you're tracking and just a lot of consistency stuff.
yeah. It makes it a
Um,
lot more comfortable experience, especially if you're doing stuff like you say about tracking and stuff. It's
yeah, you're like,
stressful enough.
I know, yeah. So it's like it's enough to remember all the things you have to do, and like I've got to tune my guitar, I've got to make sure all the cables are working. Just I like kind of high quality stuff when it makes a difference.
Yeah.
And then a Callahan bridge,
Okay.
what's it called? Yeah, bridge, and I think just a lightweight aluminium Cluson tailpiece.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Um, so yeah, just over the years, that's kind of what I've landed on. I like the Grover tuners. I like a bone nut. I like CTS pots. I really like that bare knuckle humbucker.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and Switchcraft toggle, and he's like a pure tone jack socket, just so there's no again, just like scratchiness and rattliness. It's not
Yeah.
professional on stage. It's annoying in the studio. And a lot of the stuff that's important on stage is important in the studio. So yeah, so it's going to be called the Gold Light. It's going to be weight relieved, probably some sort of chambered or Swiss cheese inside.
Yeah.
Uh, it's great for just it'll feel more like the weight of an SG or something, but
Yeah.
it'll look, it has the sound of the just a single cutaway.
So you're going to be using that live as well, yeah?
Yeah, that's going to be the main live guitar, and it's just going to be literally a weight off my shoulders. You
Yeah.
know,
See,
um,
here's one potential issue. If you guys have got about a theme on the go and like the same guitar and they like visually look the same, does that mean you're going to need to get two of these things ordered, yeah?
well, so the thing is, this is all part of a bit of an image shake up. So like we're
Okay.
looking to get pops of so like we have a lot of white. Obviously, we all play white guitars at the moment, but um we're kind of adding some pops of color. So
That's
we're
cool.
experimenting with. We're not sure whether we're kind of going like a bit of silver and gold, or we're just going to do pops of gold. We're not sure yet, so we haven't quite worked it out. We've got some ideas, but that's kind of part of the revamp of the look.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, we're definitely sold on gold as like a really nice pop, because it's like it feels a bit like, oh, we're still in white, and we want to kind of enter a bit of a new phase of the band and stuff. So yeah, a bit of a
Yeah.
pop of gold. It'll be good on maybe even the press photos. I don't know really. We'll
Yeah.
see.
It's
Yeah.
nice. It's nice, to have the freedom to be able to shake things up sometimes and
The thing is, like, it's just
experiment with things.
being endorsed. Like, it's just incredible value for money as well. Because we get a decent discount on these instruments, so it's just really good value
Yeah,
for money.
it's nuts.
Almost like an experiment in of itself. Like, because obviously the pro shop it's not going to be the same as just getting something off the rack in your local music store. It's
Yeah, exactly.
it's being put together like properly, and it's going to arrive it's their own custom shop. So it's an experiment in of itself to say, look, I know that it's negligible the difference between if
Yeah,
you like a Gibson body and a vintage body. It's so negligible, and
yeah.
there's probably all sorts of arguments about like wood density and where the wood's from and stuff. And I'm like, when you use an overdrive, like that stuff isn't important really
I
anymore
know,
in the mix.
I know. And
It's
the vast
about the fact
majority
it's
of
got to
people as
sing.
well, if you don't play guitar and you're not really into that sort of stuff, the vast majority of people are like, that sounds awesome. So does that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like even like, cause I'm like really like a tone freak, really like obsessed with it, and I still play vintage guitars. Like, and that's I I'll it's with the years of experimentation. I kind of follow it wherever it goes. I mean, what I would say is I've played plenty of Gibsons and Les Pauls and stuff, and every now and then, like I pick up one, I'll go, I think it's like there's something there that's like maybe like 10% feels 10% more solid or 10% more put together, or it rings 10% better. But, you know, the price is like 5 times the price. And it's just like
Yeah,
it's just not justifiable. But then when you upgrade some of these guitars and you're like, I
yeah,
wonder whether there is 10% anymore. You know, you kind of
yeah.
the gap's closing between, you know, it'd have to be like a custom shop Gibson now to kind of get to the next level. And then you are talking multiple, you know, 4, 5 grand. Like, it's just not right. And the thing, and in all honesty, as a gigging band, I'm not going to take a £5,000 guitar on a plane and put it in the hold,
No, exactly. So,
or
well,
like buy a seat for it every single show.
it's
You
not
know, I'm
that.
happy to put my £280 Les Paul in the case, and you know, if it has a neck break, it's not as big a deal as if you've got a custom shop Les Paul neck break. You know, in all honesty.
Yeah.
It's that as well. There's so many practical reasons.
Well, the thing as well is, in my experience, and I know in the experience of a lot of people that obviously we kind of chat with, and a lot of folk that we speak to in the vintage guitar players group, like I know a lot of folk have had interactions with vintage, and I know that way that if they have had some like a pro shop and there's been a problem, like, and in terms of like maybe damage to the guitar sort of thing, if they've had it out and something's happened to it, then they're so caring, about if you're going to get another one or something like that, they'll do their bit to make sure that it's just what you want it to be again, sort of thing, which is,
Yeah.
I think, the kind of the difference, it's for me at least. In terms then, to kind of cap things off, album number 5, when can we hear this? When's it out?
Yeah. So I'm still kind of doing a lot of guitar stuff actually on it at the moment. So kind of experimenting. I mean, it's funny really because like I've got kind of access to 3 Les Pauls now, but I'm still kind of like I've got my mate who's got like 3 or 4 more Les Pauls and other guitars. I'm like, oh, no, but the thing is, he has a vintage with the mini humbuckers. So I'm like,
Okay.
oh, I wonder like for the Thin Lizzy sounds, whether it's worth me experimenting with that. I mean, because the thing is, like, we're spoiled these days as guitarists with all the variables.
Yeah.
I mean, not even diving into the world of amp modeling and Kempers and stuff. You know, which is just like madness, really. But like the options that you have and the control. But even just having like a couple of guitar amps and a couple of guitars and then multiple overdrive pedals. There's so much you can do that. Like there's so many
Yeah.
different sounds. And then and then obviously I've got a couple of speaker cabs and then this mate who's got all these. He's our guitar tech. He has these Les Pauls and stuff. But he's got like a vintage guitar cab, so it's like, oh, we can try this. But I'm like, there's so many variables now, it's going to mess with the system.
I know,
And I
like
like to kind of keep a
speakers.
record of like we
Yeah.
recorded this guitar and this cab and this overdrive pedal, and that's keeping it simple, you know.
I
This guitar,
think,
this overdrive pedal, this cabinet.
do you
Those are the
know,
things that matter.
I think when you look at it, like there are certain things, like if we have the amazing flexibility to be able to record stuff at home now compared to what things used to be like, it's fantastic. But I think at the same time, there's like you say, there is that danger. It's like, I'm going to try it with this now. I'm going to try it with this now. I'm going to try it with this now. I'm going to try it with this now.
Yeah,
And it's just like, right, where do I stop with this? Whereas it's not exactly an ideal way of doing things. But if you're going out in a studio like you would beforehand, like years ago, it's like, right, that is what you're using. You might get a few tweaks at things, but that's when you're in and that's when you're done. Like,
yeah.
so
I've really tried to deliberately limit myself. Like where I'm up to at the moment, so far, I've been using 3 guitars, 3 amps, and 3 overdrive pedals, or 3 types, because I have like a couple of different treble booster
yeah,
pedals. I use the Timmy overdrive a lot. I use it live as well, and I use treble boosters in the studio. We used to use them live, but I can't like sing and as a solo boost, but I can't like sing and then turn the pedal off
yeah,
and so I just have a sound that works and for
yeah.
solos and rhythm.
I was trying
And then
that for a
focus
bit.
on the singing. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying that for a bit with one thing, and honestly, you're like Michael Flatley or something doing the river dance, trying to
Yeah.
get all these pedals or something, you know?
I'm just really like,
That's,
yeah, it's just one sound now, really. I just
yeah.
roll the
Just,
volume off and
just need to get yourself a little Britney mic or something like that, you
I know, yeah.
know?
So I can tap dance and sing, and that's what people want to see.
That's nuts. Well, listen, let me say thank you for joining me tonight. I really do appreciate it. What we're going to do, like I say, um, we can obviously kind of keep up to date, and you know, if there's a date for your release and stuff, we'll obviously can get that shared on socials, and folk obviously like get online and check out Wytch Hazel.
Yeah,
For anyone who is interested in finding us in the Vintage Guitar Players group, we're on Facebook, so it's just facebook.com/groups/the Vintage Place. You find us on Instagram as well at 95 Vintage Legends. And again, for us and for the guys in Wytch Hazel, subscribe to us, get following us. We also appreciate it. Listen, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Colin. I really appreciate it, man. And thanks everyone for joining us.
thanks a
Cheers.
lot. It's a pleasure.
Cheers.
Cheers.